5 spring games played this weekend inside the Big Ten. Let's wrap them all up for you in one nice little package. We start up in Madison. Wisconsin's offense in Cardinal versus the defense in white. Garrett Groshek stood up and stopped by that white D on 4th and goal. Early 4th quarter, more defense on display. Jack Cohen under pressure. Throws it up. Caesar Williams, all hail Caesar. White on top, 19-9. Don't get me trying to explain the whole scoring system. Cohen then finds the guy wearing the right colored jersey. Xander Neville, I would say, is wide open. Still, White defeats the Cardinal, 2017. Iowa spring game, lots of questions and some big roster spots to fill for the Hawkeyes, like Beathard and King. First quarter, Black down 16. Nathan Stanley hits Devontae Young for the short touchdown. Tyler Wiegers, guy who's going to get an extra look this year with the Gold up 30-14. This is not the look he was necessarily searching for, however. Picked off, and that is going the other way for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Defense always going to be a staple for Kirk Ferentz and never much of a question mark, unlike the quarterback position this year. In the third quarter, also deep at running back, Torrin Young takes the handoff, bounces it outside for 14 yards. High scoring again. Don't get me started on spring game scoring, 63-47. Penn State's spring game, known as blue versus white. Saquon Barkley, one of the leaders in the Heisman race heading into 2017. Then again, so is Trace McSorley, but Barkley didn't play in this game. McSorley did, finding Jonathan Holland over the middle for a 16-yard gain, leading to a 24-yard field goal. Blue up at the half, 7 minutes to play in the fourth. Tommy Stevens had himself a day. Fires to Brandon Polk. Bobble, no, look, I do got it. 31-yard touchdown, all blue, 26-0. Maryland red-white game. You get the whole color versus color scheme we're going through here. Midway into the second, defense up by a couple. Tyrell Pigram in at quarterback, and Piggy gets picked off by Antoine Brooks. Now, the interception, I can tell you, in this scoring system is worth 7, so the defense extends its lead. Third quarter, Pigram having better luck finding Tyvon Jacobs. Offense back within 1. Nice throw from Pigram there. Max Sportenschlager, a guy who's hoping to get some PT at quarterback this year as well. Well-thrown ball to DJ Turner. Turner had a monster afternoon. 6 grabs, $126 in that score. And finally, in Piscataway, Rutgers spring game, Troy Anthony to Charles Snorway, throwing back the opposite way. And how about Snorway, despite the clear pass interference, pulling it in? Giovanni Ruscino then to Damon Mitchell. We're airing it out. And Rutgers ties it up at 13. Last chance for the White with the Scarlet up by 3, but Anthony this time is picked off by Damon Hayes as the Scarlet wins it. Let's get more from Dave Revson and the rest of our BTN football crew.
Thanks. Pleased to be joined by Howard Griffith and Jerry DiNardo as we wrap up not just a weekend of spring football, but the entire spring. Everyone in the Big Ten is done, except for Michigan. They're, of course, practicing in Rome this coming week. Jerry was supposed to get us there. He failed us. So for us, unfortunately, spring football is over. We saw 5 teams play their spring games this weekend, Iowa and Wisconsin on Friday night, then Penn State, Maryland, Rutgers on Saturday. Let's start with those 5 teams, and then we can broaden it out. What stood out to you guys this past weekend?
Yeah, I think the quarterback play of Penn State, by both quarterbacks that they have, Stevens and McSorley. These two quarterbacks really can throw the ball and really have a great command of that offense. And if you're going to want to go to a championship, you're going to have be led by an outstanding quarterback. And Penn State seems to be lucky. They've got 2.
You know, there's no one in the conference that has that kind of depth at quarterback like Penn State. But I think it's a deep team everywhere. That was really impressive watching them in the spring game. If you go to Friday and you still stay on the quarterback situation, Hornibrook, I think he's going to hit his stride. I mean, he looked comfortable. He's the starter. Iowa has the opposite situation. They didn't throw the ball very good. They haven't made a decision on who their quarterback is going to be. So, like a lot of the teams in both divisions and the entire spring, quarterback's going to be an issue for a lot of teams in this conference.
And no doubt, Iowa passing game a concern coming out of the game on Friday night, and pretty clear that the new offensive coordinator, Brian Ferentz, and quarterbacks coach Ken O'Keefe have some work to do between now and camp. As we look forward, guys, to the fall, and you kind of put this spring in perspective after watching all 14 of these teams go through their drills, what stood out to you?
Not having gone to any of the practices and just based on the 14 spring games, I thought Ohio State and Penn State looked the best. Now, a lot of that has to do with the way the game's organized, but we only can judge by what we've seen. If you divide your team, you're not going to look like a good team because no one has that kind of depth without their incoming freshmen all being on campus. But to me, Ohio State, Penn State, the deepest, the most efficient on offense, the best defenses. But again, I say that only because they kept their best with their best and they went against the rest of the team.
And you look at a team like Michigan State, you know, struggled last year, having the off-the-field issues this year, the way they'll be able to come back and come together and really get the ship righted, I think will be one of those things that you have to keep an eye on looking toward summer camp. You look at a team like Illinois that really didn't have the numbers to really scrimmage and have practice and really did something that we haven't seen. Practice was over before March 14th, something like that. It was over. But I think it'll be fascinating to watch Lovie Smith continue to build that program.
It's interesting some of the things Lovie has done, right? His recruiting is a little bit slower. He won't buy into the early commitments as much as some of the other schools, and his early spring practice. He's kind of done this thing a little bit different than everyone else has done, certainly everyone else at Illinois prior to him.
West feels wide open. We'll see whether the Illini can make a move. Purdue with a new coach and Jeff Brom as well. Maybe they can get that offense cranking, but the opportunity, it seems, is there to make a big jump on that side of the Big Ten. But we'll know plenty more when we get on the bus.
Oh, yes.
Guys, looking forward to that in August.
The bus, yeah.
Bus
Tour, our 11th season covering the Big Ten together. Cannot
you guys
wait.
for 11 years, huh?
Get it going. 11 years.
You guys haven't aged a day.
Yeah, that's nice of you to say about me and kind of you to make Jerry think that that's true about him as well. That's going to do it for us. We will see you for Media Days, and we will see you, of course, in the fall as well here on BTN.